Hi and welcome back to Rideshare Body UK. My name's Kevin and I've got a day off. Well, got a few days off. I had bed rest yesterday, beginning to get rid of this cold, feeling a lot better, not working today. I've just been down to Angling Direct to get some bait, because if I'm feeling up to it tomorrow, I'm off fishing. And also Thursday. If not, I'll spend tomorrow in bed and go Thursday. I've got no work on because I don't have access to my phone. My work phone, has been confiscated. I've been reminded that the reason why I started to do taxiing was as a part-time gig work side hustle for a bit of extra money to get my state pension. It wasn't until I could do full-time work again. So I've had my phone confiscated and I'm only going to get it 3 days a week. So that's going to put me right back, fortunately, on the hours that I'm doing. I think one of the problems is because I'm so used to having worked hard and long hours all of my life, it's been very hard for me to just wind down. So when the work was coming in, I was taking all the work, and there is a lot of work out there if you're up for it. So it's been taken out of my hands, get the phone 3, maybe 4 days a week, and that's it. That's all I can work. I'm not working out till Friday. Friday, I know I've got a back-to-back Heathrow on, but I'm not going to know the full details until Friday morning. I know it's a 12 o'clock pick-up from Roost, go to Heathrow. I'm fairly sure it's a Heathrow back to Cardiff, but I'm not sure. I think it's Penarth, but I can't remember. I'll find out Friday. But that's a back-to-back on Friday, and I'm going back-to-back on Saturday, which I think is Bristol Airport. So I'm really coming right back down to what I originally started off doing, and only 3, maximum of 4 days a week. And that's going to be enforced by my phone being taken off me. God, I'm feeling like a kid. But it allows me time to go out and play. So this video is about, excuse the voice, about whether I think there's too many private hire drivers out. And I'm going to say private hire drivers. That encompasses Uber, Bolt, local companies, and other national companies like maybe Delta, Vaso, and the like. And I don't think there is too many. In fact, I don't think there's enough good quality drivers out there. I keep getting loads and loads of work offers directly at retail prices from customers who are not happy about the standards of private hire driving today, and those standards have really dropped, especially in the last 10 years. I've noticed it myself. Before I started driving, I used to use Uber, and there was a number of occasions when the driver would be watching Bollywood on his smartphone when he was driving, and I have to keep telling him, especially at lights, I'd have to ride that lights had changed. But they were so interested in their Bollywood movies that they really was taking an interest in the road. And that's pretty much common standard now, and worse. And I'll explain why it's getting even worse shortly. But I would say that 15% of the drivers now on the roads with private hire companies, predominantly with Uber, do not know how to drive in Britain. Full stop. Don't know how to do it. And they've come in from overseas, nothing wrong with that. But they've come in from places like Mogadishu, Afghanistan, where there is no customer service and where there is no road sense. And that means people like me, who know what British customers expect, the levels of customer service they expect, and the levels of driving skills they expect, I can wipe the floor. I get so many offers coming in. Recently, one from OTS, and I'll talk about that to explain what the situation is and why, as far as I'm concerned, they can pile on as many Uber drivers and as many private hire drivers as they like. It's not going to impact me because the quality that's coming into the trade is so poor. It just helps me sell my services to more people. Yeah, as I say, it's not just Uber drivers who are bad. All of them are, well, not all drivers, but all companies have a bad apple. And it doesn't take many for them to start losing contract work. Let's look at the last customer I had who offered me their corporate contract, OTS customer. He's a captain of a ship, flies out to Amsterdam every few weeks to do his tour of duty. He lives in the Brecon Beacons, he gets a taxi down to Cardiff Airport, flies out, but because there's no planes coming into Cardiff Airport, he flies back to Birmingham Airport and gets a taxi from Birmingham Airport down to Brecon Beacons. But when I did him a couple of weeks ago, he offered me the contract to do the work because he's moving it on from OTS, mainly because of the quality, well, only because of the quality of the Birmingham drivers. He was saying the last time he had the trip back from Brecon Beacon, he was almost killed twice. He had a driver who had just come from Afghanistan. How he got his private hire licence, nobody knows, but he had it anyway, if it was, of course, his. And he drove as though he was driving through the foothills of Afghanistan with a helicopter gunship in pursuit. He was saying, this captain of the ship was saying it was crazy, really crazy. He really thought he was going to come off the road and die. And that was the final straw. But he said it had happened previously. The time before that, he had a Somali driver who was so stoned and out of his head that he could barely keep his eyes open. And the captain had to keep talking to him and shaking him and waking him up. And it has happened previous occasions. And he complained to OTS, and OTS hadn't done anything. So he just been to his shipping company and told them, look, it's got to change. Can't go on like this. He weren't prepared to put his life on the line anymore by having OTS as their driving contract. And, of course, being the captain of a ship, his opinion held quite highly. So he was told, go find another company, get him to invoice, and you can change your contract. And that's what he was doing. He asked me, because I'd picked him a few times, whether I'd like to take on the contract and would I do invoicing. I won't do invoicing. I don't like taking OTS work. I won't approach OTS customers. They give me too much work for me to do the dirty on. But they've lost the contract anyway. He was saying they've gone, OTS have gone, and he's finding somebody else to do it. So he gave me the figures that the company's paid OTS, which are quite healthy, certainly there. But I said, look, I don't really want to get involved in contract work. Don't want to get involved in invoicing. I mean, I'll do this part-time now. I might not be available for a day that you want. So not really to me. But I said, if you got a company credit card, I've got my credit card machine. If you do want to move, and you are going to move, we'll have a chat and see if we can sort something out. But he said it's finished with OTS because of the quality of the driver. And I'll say that this summer season, 60% of my work has built up over my time with Uber. They've been talking to me, chatting to me, saying, do you do contract work, do you do airport work? And I've said, yeah, there's my card. And that's all paid back. People expect a certain level of driving ability. They don't want people running red lights. They don't want people speeding round hairpin corners out of control. They don't want people to be watching movies on a smartphone while they're supposed to be driving. It's not rocket science. The thing about this job is it's not rocket science. All you got to do is drive safely and treat your passengers well. And that doesn't mean throwing in loads of free sweets and free drinks and stuff that Uber drivers are told to do. You don't need to do that. You just need to get out of the car, open up the boot and help with the luggage. That's all it needs to happen. Keep the air conditioning on good temperature. Don't over talk to the passengers. A lot of passengers, my favourite passengers, get in the car. If you're 20 minutes, they feel safe enough to be able to go back and sleep. And they don't wake up until I drop them off. That's my favourite passengers. They're happy, they're catching up on the sleep. They have confidence in my driving. And that's all it takes. It doesn't take a lot to grab work. And there is a lot of work out there to grab. So I'm not worried about the likes of Uber. I'm not worried about loads and loads of drivers coming on board. Because those drivers just aren't up to the task of doing the job. Not the quality end of the market, they're not. Students, people on benefits, they'll always put price before service. But that's only a small section of the market. If you look at the supermarkets, you've got Lidl and Aldi, bottom end of the market. Between them, they only account for about 18% of the market. And at the top end of the market, you've got the Marks and Spencers, you've got Waitrose, you've got Ocado, and in the middle, you've got Sainsbury's and Tesco's. There's 80% of the market is not price sensitive. 80% of the market is customer service and value for money sensitive. And if you get into that top 20%, the people who go to Waitrose and go to Ocado and go to Marks and Spencer's food halls, money is really not a problem. And I'll give you an example of that just now. So this example was when I had the airport transfer business, flight cabs, and I used to specialise in unaccompanied minors. So children from overseas coming into private schools in the UK. And one example was the daughter of a steel and engineering magnate from India. His daughter went to Haberdasher's school in Monmouth, private girls' school, and I used to take her back 4 times a year, there and back, 8 trips a year, throughout the time that she went to Haberdasher's. Then after she graduated from Haberdasher's, and went from sixth form, she got accepted into York University. Completely out of my area. We used to do Heathrow to Monmouth. Not a problem. I could make that pay. But from Heathrow to York, totally out of my area. But her dad said, her father said, will you take my daughter up to York University and carry on with the contract? It's completely out of my area. Financially, it doesn't pay. And he went, well, will you take her? I said, yes, but I'd have to sort out some extra finance into funds to cover that distance. And because I'm not bothered about the money. If you want to take her, great, just carry on and just bill me for whatever it takes. So this was 20 years ago. Heathrow to York was £250, and then that added on an extra £200 for the dead mileage. So that was a £450 job. Fine, that's 20 years ago. Today I'd probably charge around £600, but back then it was £450 for the day. Not a bad little job, but it does show that if you provide a service, having a reasonable car, it doesn't have to be an exec car. I've never run exec cars. Don't think there's enough trade for it. I think if you buy an exec car on Uber, you're going to spend more time running people around at minimum pay on UberX than you will on exec. Certainly over in this part of Wales, there's no call for it. A nice comfort car is more than enough. I've had admirals in the back of this car doing jobs. I've had Formula One drivers in the back of this car. More than happy with the comfort level. So exec cars, no, I'd never run an exec car. There's not enough work at that premium rate to justify the extra cost of maintaining and running the car. But as I said, it's not rocket science. What do you need to do? You need to have a nice car, well, reasonable size, keep it clean. I tend to wear trousers, shoes and shirts. Most of the time I'll wear a tie. Keeping yourself clean, or you have a shower every day. I've got plenty of spray. I've got air freshener. I go for air freshener like crazy, just to keep the car looking and smelling nice. I've got a portable vacuum in the car, so I can immediately give it a clean whenever necessary. Yeah, it's not rocket science. It really isn't. I'll keep coming back to that. It just means driving safely, having a clean car, having a good attitude. Music-wise, I tend to play, when I've got customers in, I'll either play instrumental or I'll play a middle-of-the-road country music type thing. The sort of stuff you get in a shopping arcade or in a lift. Nothing too explicit, nothing too cliche in the genre, and I'll keep the noise quite low, so I never overplay it very loud. And if I go on the phone, I'll turn the music off so I can go straight on the phone. Always ask when I get in the car, and I'll say, if it gets too hot or too cold, let me know, and I'll adjust the aircon. I'll give them an estimated time of arrival, and make sure that's okay with them. But it's just little pleasantries. Never moan at the customer, never moan about driving, never moan about road rage, never moan or get angry at other drivers. Just remain calm, give yourself plenty of space so you can get out of any situation. Gentle braking, gentle acceleration. I'm going to say it again, it's not rocket science. And you'll have people coming to you, and you'll have people willing to pay retail prices for you. Now, I know you're supposed to get an operator's licence. I've got an operator's licence, always have. But we know it doesn't always happen that way. We know people will take private work on without having an operator's licence. But if you're going to do big time, get an operator's licence. You can generally, most councils will have a cheap version for an owner operator. Mine cost me £1,000 for 5 years, £200 a year, make it back in a week. It's not going to break the bank. So I would always advise you that you do get an operator's licence rather than just doing private work, because you will get caught eventually and then you'll lose your licence completely. But the opportunities are still there. Still there to make a good living. Still there to cream off the top of the milk and earn a good wage. But you have to be prepared to put the time in. You have to be prepared to drive safely and just generally treat people with a bit of respect. Now, if you have come in as a migrant, and you have come in from somewhere like, I don't know, Bangladesh or Pakistan or Somalia, just accept the fact that we don't drive that way over here, and passengers don't like to be driven in that sort of way. So adapt your driving to the current climate of the UK. You know, we are a bit more laid back, we're a bit more forgiving. We don't speed, we don't break the law. So just chill out and drive the way the British do. And you'll soon adapt and you'll soon start picking up work. But if you try and bring in third world driving standards into this country, you'll just lose customers. That's all that will happen. And eventually you'll have no customers to service. So, yeah, if you have come over to be a taxi driver, just to change the ways that you drive. And you'll soon have the opportunity to earn good money. The other thing is, if you have come across and you don't have much of a credit record or credit history, then do take advantage of Uber. Uber's a great place to pick up customers if you drive well. Uber's also great. They've brought in a lot of help towards drivers getting their own vehicles. Take advantage of it. 20 years ago, there was no such thing as buy to rent or rent to buy. There was no such thing as auto cars. There was no such thing as reflex, anything like that. You had to go to the bank and get a loan or go to a finance company or a lease. And then you have to have good credit records, you have to money for savings, for deposits, and all sorts. You don't need any of that now. If you've got with an Uber, if you're an active Uber driver, you can get a nice car very easily. And you don't have to stay with Uber. Just keep your account active. I keep my account active with Uber by doing 2 or 3 jobs a week. I think last week the payment I got from Uber was £32. But it's kept my account active so I can get my BP discounts. So you don't need to do a lot. Take advantage of what Uber has on offer to get you on the road with a decent car, especially if it's with insurance. And then it's entirely down to you to make it happen. And you make it happen by treating passengers with respect, giving them a good service, driving safely, and eventually you'll have the opportunities to do retail pricing work. Because they'll come to you and say, can you take me to such and such on the airports? Because very few passengers will ring up Uber or use the app for the airport one. Very few. Because they're not reliable and they don't know who's going to pick them up and they don't know if they're going to turn up. So you have the opportunity. So yeah, that's it. I don't think there's too many drivers. I don't think there's enough good quality drivers, which is why if you are a good quality driver, you will always make money and good money on private hire. So that's it. Thanks for listening. That's my little rant over. Till next time, take care. Make that profit. Drive safely. Give good customer service. And you'll do all right.